In 5000 BC, a gathering of 10 godlike people dive upon earth to shield mankind from the freaks. They are the Eternals, who have been sent from their home planet of Olympia on the Domo by the Prime Heavenly, Arishem the Adjudicator. Consistently, the Eternals keep on migrating to other developing civic establishments and safeguard them from the freaks, despite the fact that they are banned by Arishem from obstructing human struggles to permit them to normally advance. Two Eternals, Circe and Icarus, would foster a cozy relationship throughout the long term, ultimately turning into a wedded couple. In 1521, the Spanish attack on the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan runs simultaneously with an assault from the remainder of the freaks. While fending them off, Thena's Mahad makes her immediately turn on her partners, just to be come by Gilgamesh. The Prime Everlasting, Ajak, offers to fix Thena's burden at the expense of her recollections. However, Gilgamesh volunteers to investigate her, yielding with the likelihood that she might need to be killed assuming she turns once more. Druig, disappointed with how the Eternals have been keeping away from human illicit relationships, deserts them to end the Spanish struggle himself. With the degenerates apparently destroyed, Ajak discharges the Eternals to head out in a different direction. In the years since, Icarus would forsake Circe as the other Eternals anticipate their revisitation of Olympia. In the current day, Sprite lives with Circe in London as she fills in as a historical center keeper with a heartfelt interest in her partner Dane Whitman. One evening, Circe, Sprite and Whitman are leaving a party when they are gone after by a degenerate. They are joined by Icarus as they battle to kill the monster, yet they find that recuperating itself is capable. As Whitman is abandoned, Circe, Sprite and Icarus choose to leave for South Dakota looking for Ajak. At her home, they track down her body, all things being equal, a survivor of a prior degenerate assault. As Circe grieves over the corpse of their chief, Ajak gives the circle she uses to speak with Arishem to her. With the freak danger approaching, the three choose to branch out to find the other Eternals. They approach Kingo as he shoots another Bollywood film, who is reluctant to leave his life of fame and rejoin the Eternals. He gives in when he finds out about Ajak, close by extra consolation from his valet Karun Patel, who likewise labels close by them to film a narrative for Kingo. The gathering finds Gilgamesh and Thena in Australia as the last's WYFI reemerges because of a new degenerate assault. In the wake of looking at Thena's craftsmanship she had painted during her episodes of WYFI, which envisioned recollections of planetary obliterations previously, Circe utilizes the circle to lay out an association with Arishem effectively. There is no such thing as the Prime Divine uncovers to Circe that Olympia, all things considered, he had designed the Eternals on the planet produce. He had likewise made the degenerates to destroy Earth's dominant hunters and permit shrewd life to flourish. However, a basic plan defect drove them to develop and become hunters themselves. They approach Kingo as he shoots another Bollywood film, who is reluctant to leave his life of fame and rejoin the Eternals. He gives in when he finds out about Ajak, close by extra consolation from his valet Karun Patel, who likewise labels close by them to film a narrative for Kingo. The gathering finds Gilgamesh and Thena in Australia as the last's WYFI reemerges because of a new degenerate assault. In the wake of looking at Thena's craftsmanship she had painted during her episodes of WYFI, which envisioned recollections of planetary obliterations previously. Cersei utilizes the circle to lay out an association with Arishem effectively. There is no such thing as the prime divine uncovers to Cersei that Olympia, all things considered, he had designed the Eternals on the planet produce. He had likewise made the degenerates to destroy Earth's dominant hunters and permit shrewd life to flourish. However, a basic plan defect drove them to develop and become hunters themselves. Thus, the Eternals were sent onto Earth to safeguard the people, uninformed that they were likewise guarding a seed that would bring forth the new divine Tiamut the communicator once the populous standard of keen life was accomplished. At the point when that occurs, the rise would start, bringing about the annihilation of the planet and the introduction of said heavenly, which would consider new life and universes to frame. A short time later, the recollections of the Eternals would be taken from them and concentrated by Arishem to clear a path for their next planetary mission. Shocked with the genuine importance of their reality, Cersei illuminates the others. Together, they understand that Thena's psychological burden was the consequence of a messed up memory wipe after a past rise. Wanting to postpone the development, they find Druig in an Amazon town with the expectation that he could be capable use his clairvoyance to deliver Tiamut the communicator lethargic, yet he is reluctant to help them. Around evening time, they are trapped by the degenerates and battle to fight them off. Icarus and Cersei are violently gone after by one of the monsters, yet she utilizes her powers to change it into a tree, incredibly. As Thena falls crazy once more, Gilgamesh races to her side. Nonetheless, this permits the degenerate Chief Karo to go after him and ingest his powers, acquiring a humanoid figure, coherent discourse, and his recollections. Prior to escaping, Karo vows to kill the Eternals for their activities towards the freaks. With his final words, Gilgamesh effectively gets Thena to recall who she is, relieving her of the burden. The remainder of the Eternals grieve the deficiency of their most grounded warrior with an incineration, with Thena dissipating his remains in the waterway. Druid broadcasts that he isn't sufficiently strong to influence a divine, so they head to Chicago to search out Phastos, who had long deserted humanity and his mechanical desires after his innovation was utilized to make the nuclear bomb. Notwithstanding, he has recently discovered trust for humankind subsequent to finding another existence with his better half Ben Stoss and child Jack Stoss. He at first won't leave his family, yet yields after Ben persuades him to battle for Jack's future. Going to Iraq, they recover the Domo from an archaeological site and find Makkari dwelling in the boat. As they all are permeated with limitless grandiose energy, Phastos proposes they channel their energy into Druig and structure a unipsych so he can assume command over the divine and stop the rise. Yet, not every person is installed with the arrangement, with Icarus being the essential dissenter. At the point when Kingo promises to stay close by Icarus up until the end, he reviews his last experience with Ajak 6 days earlier. She illuminates Icarus that albeit the blip carried the development nearer to the real world, the heroics of the justice fighters enlivened her to uncertainty. Arishem interestingly. In any case, as he stays a firm devotee to Arishem, Icarus takes Ajak to a town in Gold Country, where the degenerates caught in ice were re-emerging due to an unnatural weather change related with the rise. He drives her into the way of Karo, who assimilates her life power and gains her hyper-regenerative powers. Icarus brings Ajak's body back home prior to separating over what he had done. Circe faculties the beginning of the development, provoking Phastos to send Makkari out and find Tiamat, who is at a volcanic island in the Indian Sea. Druid concludes Icarus' job in Ajak's demise, and Circe learns he was made mindful of their actual mission by Ajak hundreds of years prior. Icarus contends that it is their obligation as Eternals to safeguard the divine pattern of life so the universe might keep on existing. At the point when Kingo takes steps to go after Icarus, Sprite chooses to leave with him. As he would rather not face Arishem, however wishes not to battle his companions, Kingo additionally leaves alongside Karun. Thena persuades Circe to proceed with Ajak's main goal as her replacement and keep the arising out of taking out all of humankind. To work with the Unibrain, Phastos takes Circe's correspondence circle and dismantles it to build wristbands for the other Eternals to wear. At the island, Circe, Thena and Makkari loan their energy to Druig and permit him to interface with Tiamat. However, Icarus shoots him into an opening and obliterates the domo. Establishing that Circe's matter change powers are their last opportunity to stop the rise, Makkari, Thena and Phastos face Icarus to give her cover. Karo assaults the Eternals and almost kills Makkari, yet Phastos thumbs him into a cavern where Thena follows him into. Sprite extends a deception of Ajak to occupy Circe prior to wounding her with a blade. As she is continually taunted for her innocent height, Sprite begrudges Circe for having the option to carry on with a full life among people, trusting that the rise's result would permit her to be reawakened as a standard life form. Druid recuperates and takes Sprite out, yet he can't use his powers against Tiamat once more, driving Circe to confront it single-handedly as the divine ascends from Earth's hull. Karo imitates Gilgamesh and endeavors to assume control over Thena's brain, however she can oppose him and kills the freak. Phastos figures out how to control Icarus and keep him from utilizing his powers immediately, yet he in the end splits free and takes off to stop Circe. Nonetheless, he is sincerely unfit to force himself to hurt her. Recalling their lifespan and the adoration they shared, he gives up. Regardless of this, Circe actually needs more energy to kill Tiamat. In any case, out of nowhere something joins all the Eternals including Icarus and Sprite into the Unibrain, achieving sufficient energy to permit Circe to change Tiamat's body into marble. Culpability-ridden, Icarus apologizes to Circe prior to escaping Earth, flying straightforwardly into the Sunday. Phastos concludes that it was Tiamat itself that started the Unibrain. This was dependably the way for Eternals to endure annihilations of planets, however this time it brought about the Heavenly's demise. Having held some energy from the Unibrain, Circe satisfies Sprite's desires and changes her into a human to permit her to grow up. After 14 days in South Dakota, Thena, Makkari and Druid leave for space on the Domo, which had been fixed by Phastos, in look for additional Eternals and come clean with them. Back in London, Sprite says farewell to Circe as she moves out with Kingo to go to class. Circe is out on one more date with Whitman when Arishem decisively shows up external Earth's circle. For disrupting Tiamat's rise, he kidnapped Circe, Phastos, and Kingo to assist their recollections for a last judgment of the people, saving them until further notice. The Eternal Eros, Thanos' brother, and his aide Pip the Troll pay Thena, Makkari, and Druig a visit and offer them a partnership. After the credits, an unknown person asks Dane Whitman whether he's prepared for the fabled ebony blade, prompting him to uncover an old chest he inherited from his forefathers.